Hello students, welcome to the 11th tutorial class on operating system. And this class will be presented by myself, Dr. Shudhi Mondol, Assistant Professor of Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering from Jalpaiguri Government Engineering College. So coming to the content of this class, basically this class is a continuation of previous class, that is the memory management. Okay, so far we have discussed about the paging or others different memory management techniques. In this class, we shall discuss about the others management memory management techniques like segmentation, virtual memory, and virtual memory is basically implemented by the demand paging. And after that, we shall also discuss about the page fault and how can you dilute this page fault. Basically, for that purpose, we need some page replacement algorithms. Different kind of page replacement algorithms will be discussed with the examples that will help you to understand the algorithms with better clarity. And last, we shall have talking about the thrashing. Okay, so let's start the segmentation. So in earlier class, we have discussed about the paging, where the process has been divided into the several pages which have equal size. Okay, and the main memory is also divided into the different frames. Okay, and the page size and the frame size are same. Okay, so that is the technique, or that is from the paging. Okay, and whenever CPU requests a particular pages of a particular process using the page table, the logical address will be converted into the physical address, and respective page will be loaded into the respective frames using the page tables. Okay, now that is the paging technique. Now what will be the problem if some process need to be with different size? Suppose we have two pages only. Okay, and that for that particular process, suppose the process contains a function with addition. Okay, so if we divide the process into the pages such that some code is or some syntax of the addition program belongs to the second pages or second page. So whenever we want to access the first page that contains the addition function, but as the some part of the addition program is belong into the second page, that means whenever we want to access the first page for the addition purpose, we need to also load the second page into the respective frame, but CPU will not understand it. Okay, so to overcome this problem, segmentation technique has been introduced. Basically, it is a memory management techniques where each process or job is divided into several segments. Now, segment means what? We divide the process into segments with different size. Okay, and one for each module that contain the pieces that perform related function. Like suppose a particular process contain function like addition, subtraction, multiplication, both. Okay, so in that scenario, we shall divide the process into different segment. Suppose segment 1 consists of particular addition function as a whole, and second segment consists of multiplication function, like this way. Okay, so so basic difference between paging and segmentation is that we don't divide the whole process into equal number of pages or equal size of pages. Okay, instead of it, we divide it into different segment have which may have different size. Okay, and each segment is responsible for performing a particular function. Okay, so here basically each segment is actually a defined logical address space for the particular program. So when a process is to be executed, its corresponding segmentation are to be loaded into the non-contiguous memory through the every segment, though every segment is loaded into the contiguous block of available memory. Okay, so similar to the paging techniques, so we need to load the segment into the respective main memory. Okay, so similar to the paging techniques here, we need to also convert the logical address into the physical address also. Okay, so for that purpose we need to use segment memory table, okay, or segment map table. And so here you can see that it is already written as that segmentation memory management works very similar to the paging, but here segments are of variable length, whereas in paging pages are of fixed size. Okay, so let's see the block diagram. As you can see that this one on the process, and process is divided into the segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, segment n, and you can see that the size of segment 1 and segment 2 are quite different, whereas in case of paging the size of page 1 and page 2 are same. Okay, so that is the main difference between paging and segmentation. Let's next. Now a program segment contain the program main function, utility function, data structure, and so on. Okay, so the operating system need to maintain a segment map table for every process. Okay, and a list of free memory blocks along with the segment number, their size, and corresponding memory address in the main memory. Okay, so you can see that this one is the segment map table through which we can convert the logical address of each segment into the main memory where it will be loaded. Okay, you can see that the segment map table, it consists of three parts. You can see that this one is the serial number, so segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, like this way. And next, the memory address, that is also known as the base address. Okay, that means it indicate basically the starting point of the memory location in the main memory. Okay, and the size denotes or indicate the total size of the memory of that segment. Okay, so you can see that uh, suppose CPU wants to load the segment into the main memory, segment 1. Okay, so what will happen? So in that scenario it will first it will check the which segment we want to load. Okay, so as it is indicates segment 1, so it will go through the row corresponding to the segment number 1, and it will find that memory address will starting from 100. Okay, so segment 1 will start to load from the memory location 100, and it will continue to load up to which location. You can see that the size of the segment 1 is 400, so obviously 100 plus 4, that means up to 500 kb the segment 1 will be occupied. Okay, and you can see that suppose segment 3, the size of the segment 3 is only 100, whereas the starting memory location in the main memory is 800. So you can see that the segment 3 will be loaded in this particular memory location, as here the size of the respective frame is 100. So obviously process segment 3 will be loaded in this frame only. Okay, and you can see that second segment can be loaded from this way, from this point 500 and 600, because the size of the segment 2 is only 200. Okay, so like this way the segmentation work, and basic difference is that the size of the segment are different. That means these are with variable length and variable different function with different functionality, and you need to use a segment map table, and it consists of size and memory address or base address. Okay, now let's see how can I convert the conversion using segment table. Okay, so a logical address space is a collection of segment. Clear? So each segment has a name and length, like segment 1, segment 2, and its size like 100, 200, 300. Okay, so the user specify each address by two quantities: a segment name, number, and offset. Offset means size. Okay, so segment number, what is segment number? that is the segment 1, segment 2. So logical address consists of two parts, that is segment number and and the size of the segment. Okay, so that is the logical address, and it's need to be converted into the physical address, that means in frame location, sorry, in the main memory, which memory address it belongs. Okay, so segment table maps two-dimensional physical address, and each entry in the table consists of base and limit. We already discussed it. This actually denotes the memory address. Actually, it denotes the base, and size denotes actually the limit, 400, 200, 100. So this denote actually limit. So base, what is base? Base contains the starting physical address where the segment reside in the memory. So you can see that from earlier slide, those this 100. This is the starting memory address. So 100, so contains the starting physical address where the segment reside in the memory. And limit, it basically specify the limit of the segment or size of the segment or the length of the segment. So you can see that from earlier slides that the 400 is the size of the respective segment. Okay, so that is basically nothing but the limit. Okay, now see the, let's see the conversion process. So suppose a cpu request cpu request to load the segment 2 into the physical memory. Okay, so whenever cpu request this, that means it will generate a logical address. Okay, so for the segment 2, the logical address consists of two part. One will be the logical address consists of two part, as in earlier slide we have known that that consists of segment number and the segment size. So you can see that as we are using the we should use the binary form. So here it is been written as like 0010, so actually denote the segment number 2. So s equal to 2. Okay, so that is that if you are using the 4 digit to represent 2, so that will be 0010. Okay, so that indicates segment 2. And d d, what is d? D denotes the size. Suppose here it is given as 10110, that indicate 20. So so size of the segment 2 is given by 20. Okay, that means that that is 20. Okay, so whenever CPU generate this type of logical address, so you need to convert it into the physical memory so that you can load the respective segment into the frame or physical memory. Okay, so here you don't use the actually term as term the frame, because here also the length of the physical memory is varied, whereas in case of frames we divide the physical memory into equal number of memory location, memory size. Okay, so that's why we use the term frame. So here we don't use the term frame, but we are using the term main memory or physical memory or RAM, like this way. Okay, so whenever CPU generate this logical address, we need to convert it into the physical address. So what will happen? So it will look after into the segment map table. Okay, so it will check. Okay, so for segment number 2, or when for the segment number 2, what will the value of limit? Okay, so suppose there is the limit is already given as 20. Okay, and in the segment table it is already written as that 1200. So for segment number 2, okay, so it is already mentioned that the base is 1200, 1200, and the limit is 20. Okay, so in that case what will happen? We need to we have to assign some kind of condition here. We need to check either d equal to limit or d less than limit. Okay, that means the logical address which has been generated by CPU, the size of the size of the second part, sorry, that means, yeah, size of the segment, that should be less than the limit, less than equal to limit. If that condition satisfied, then it will go to generate the respective physical memory, sorry, physical memory address location. Okay, so as you can see that the value of binary, sorry, decimal value of this quantity is 20. So obviously the condition has been satisfied, d equal to limit. So as this condition is satisfied, that means 20 equal to 20, that means d equal to limit. So what will happen? So we should, the start value will be 1200 and the end value will be 1200 plus the d. So 1200 plus 20, that means the end value will be 1220. Okay, so that means in this particular memory location the respective segment 2 will be loaded and CPU can access that. And you can see that if this condition, like if d equal to limit or d less than equal to limit, if this condition is not satisfied, then there will be some kind of addressing error and it will be known as the trap. Okay, that means in that scenario the respective segment will not be uploaded into the physical memory or main memory. So like this way we can convert the logical address into the physical address in case of segmentation. Okay, again I'm telling that there is in case of segment paging, we divide the process into equal number of pages where the size of the pages are same. Similarly, we divide the main memory into into fixed size number of memory allocation, memory location, that is known as the frames, and each pages will be loaded into the respective frames. Okay, but here in case of segmentation, the size of the each block, which is known as the segment, are different. That means these are the variable length. Okay, so that is the main difference, and here we need to use the segment table instead of paging tables. And segment table consists of segment number, limit, and the base address. And if the condition satisfied, we need to add the respective size with the base address to get the end memory address of the physical memory. Okay, so like this, so you can convert into the logical address into the physical address. Now coming to the next topic, that is the virtual memory. So virtual memory is also non-contiguous memory management techniques. So as the name suggests, virtual. Okay, so that means this type of memory does not exist in real life, but using this technique, the size of the primary memory can be expanded virtually. That means it can create a illusion so that an user can see that the size of the primary memory is quite large. Okay, so suppose a particular scenario where the size of the process is larger than the size of the main memory or RAM. So for that purpose, or for that case, it is question that can't we able to load the process into the main memory? What will happen? Okay, so in that scenario, virtual memory can be used. Okay, so in case of virtual memory, a computer can address more memory than the actual amount of physical memory installed on the system. And this extra memory, which is basically a virtual, is known as the virtual memory. And for the implementation of this virtual memory, a section of the secondary memory location, that is the hard disk, has been used. Okay, and uh, so a part of the hard disk has been used to extend the main memory size. Okay, virtually. Okay, so this basically, this technique has some advantages. Okay, so first one is that it allows to extend the use of physical memory by using the disk. That means the size of the main memory can be increased, so user don't need to bother about the size of the process or the main memory. Okay, and second, it allows to have memory protection. That means for each virtual address it is translated in the physical address. Okay, so here it is also written as that virtual memory is the separation of user logical memory from physical memory, and this separation allows an extremely large virtual memory to be provided for the programmers when only a smaller physical memory is available. Okay, so virtual memory makes the task of programming much easier because the programmers no longer need to worry about the amount of physical memory available. Okay, so here you can see that this is the basically block diagram or schematic view that indicate that virtual memory is larger than the physical memory. You can see that uh, all the process are being divided into the n number of pages, page 0, page 1, page 2. Okay, and you can see that the size of the pages is quite larger than the physical actual physical memory. So basically this process or pages are loaded into the secondary memory location. Okay, now whenever CPU requests to load particular pages, so there is some kind of memory map technique that convert this particular virtual memory address into the physical memory address. So for that purpose, OS or operating system need to access the secondary memory location. Okay, so you can see that memory location can access the respective secondary storage or hard disk. From there some process or pages can be loaded in the physical memory, and some process can be also taken out from that physical memory also. Okay, so by using this technique, and by using this technique you can see that virtual memory size is quite larger than the physical memory, and we don't need to bother about the size of the particular process. Okay, so to implement that means what is the technique for this memory map? Okay, so basically virtual memory is commonly implemented by the demand paging. Okay, so demand paging is a technique to implement the virtual memory in real life. So let's see what is the demand paging. So a demand paging system is quite similar to the paging techniques with the facility with extra features, and the extra feature is the swapping technique. So we already know that swapping means we can taken out some process from the main memory, and we can also put some process forcefully into the main memory for the execution purpose. So okay, so that is known as the swap in and swap out. Okay, so basically, so demand paging is nothing but paging with swapping facility. Okay, so that's why it is written as that a demand paging system is quite similar to a paging system with swapping, where processes reside in the secondary memory and pages are loaded only on demand, not in advance. It is a very important feature for the demand paging that the all the process and that means all the pages for a particular process are resided into the secondary memory location or the hard disk, and respective pages are loaded only on demand. When CPU want to access particular pages, then only that page can be loaded into the main memory, not before that. Okay, so that's why we use the term demand. Okay, fine. Okay, so when we want to execute a particular process, we swap it into the main memory. Okay, and here it is already written that rather than swapping the entire process into memory, it swap the required particular page. Okay, and that's why we are using the term lazy swapper. So a lazy swapper never swap a page into memory unless that will be needed, and obviously at that time it will never load the full process. Okay, so a swapper manipulate the entire process where a pager is concerned with the individual pages of a particular process. Here you can see that. So let's see, suppose this one is a hard disk. Okay, optical hard disk, and here you can see that lots of pages are already stored, like from 0 to 23. Okay, so but here you can see that the size of the memory main memory is fixed. Okay, you can see that there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13, so 13 number of frames are available here. Okay, so obviously we cannot able to load the total 23 pages into the main memory at a certain amount at a particular instance. Okay, so so what we can do, we can do that for a certain time instant we can swap in some particular pages into the main memory if there are free memory free memory in the RAM. Okay, but again we can swap out some pages from the particular main memory and store them into the respective secondary storage. Okay, so that process is swap out, and we can we can load other pages into that free memory location. Okay, so you can see that program pages for the program A can be stored into the 4 5 6 7 number of secondary storage location, and we can again load the 17 18 and 19 pages into the main memory for the particular program B. Like this way, what are the advantages? So you can easily load large number of pages into the main memory, or you can load more number of or you can load more number of process into the main memory. Okay, suppose for a particular program 1 2 3, we don't need all the pages, some pages are required, so we can load all these pages into the main memory only for the execution purpose, and whenever we need others pages, so we can swap out some process some pages into the again secondary storage and swap in the required page. Okay, so next we coming to the page transfer method. How we can transfer the pages into the main memory. So when a process is to be swapped in, the pager guess which pages will be used before the process is swapped out again. Okay, it should be keep in mind that the pager guess which pages will be used before the process is swapped out again. Instead of swapping in a whole process, the pager bring only those necessary pages to the memory. Thus, and for that purpose, what are the advantages we get? So it avoid the reading into the main memory pages that will not be used anyway. So that for that purpose, it will help to decrease the swap time, and obviously it will also help to reduce the amount of physical memory needed. Okay, so for page transfer from the secondary location into the main memory, we need to use a valid invalid scheme of page table. Okay, so what is sorry valid and invalid bit scheme for page table? Basically, it indicate which pages are currently in memory. Okay, so here basically in page table we are using another uh, bit that indicate that either particular pages is in memory or not. So if the bit is set to valid or 1, and this value basically indicate that the associated page is legal and is in already main memory. So obviously for that purpose, for that scenario we don't need to bother. But if the bit is set to invalid or 0, that means this value indicate that the page is not in the main memory and the page is not valid. Okay, so in that case, obviously we need to use some kind of technique so that the respective pages from the secondary storage can be loaded into the main memory. Okay, so here basically we can see that this is the basically block diagram of the page transfer method, and here this one is the logical memory, and you can see that this indicate basically page. So page 0, page 1, 2, there are total 8 number of pages, and yeah, eight number of pages here, and this one is the physical memory. So you can see that there are total 60 number of frames here, and the size of the pages and size of the frame are same like the paging system. But here we are using some page table entry, where page table entry we are using a valid invalid bit here. Okay, so you can see that is the valid invalid bit here. This denote the page page number. You can see 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and next one is the frame. Okay, so this one is the respective frame number. So you can see that for page 0, respective pages can be found in the frame number 4. So you can see that in physical memory, respective frame 4, we can found page 0, that is process A. Okay, so you can find that location, and here the extra column in the page table is the valid invalid bit. You can see that it is whenever the respective page is found into the main memory. Okay, so that will become V or 1. Okay, V or 1 indicate that means the respective pages are in already main memory. Okay, but whenever the value or bit is set to I or 0, that indicate that particular that pages is not in the main memory. So to access that pages, if CPU requests that pages, so first of all we need to access the secondary memory. From secondary memory we need to load it in the main memory. Okay, so that is the process. So we can just observe just observe the page table here. So extra feature is valid invalid bit that indicate the if the respective pages is either in memory main memory or not. If the respective pages particular pages is already in memory main memory, that means the pages is valid page is valid. That means the value will be 1, and when the value is 0 or that indicate the invalid bit, that means the page is not in main memory but is already stored into the secondary storage. Okay, so when we can when we are mentioning, suppose the page 1, so in that scenario you can see that the bit is set to I, that means it is indicating the invalid bit or invalid page. That means the segment page 1 is not loaded in the main memory. And if this condition happen, okay, if the it didn't happen, it is called as the page fault. So when a page reference and has an invalid page, so then we call it as the page fault. Okay, that means the page is not in the main memory. So how so how can we load the respective pages from the secondary storage into the main memory? So you can see that suppose we want to load uh, m page, m page number m. Okay, so suppose CPU has been requested this, please load the page number m, we need this. So for that case it will generate a logical address that consists of page table sorry page number and page size or page offset. Okay, so then it will check the respective page table. So in page table it will check either it is valid or not invalid. So if it is valid, so fine, that is no problem and it will work as the simple paging system. But if the bit is invalid, that means if the bit is zeros, and then what will happen? Then means page fault has been occurred. Okay, that means we call it as the second step, and it is also called as the trap. Okay, okay, so that means in that scenario what we need to do, that means we need to access the secondary location where the imp pages are already stored. So what will happen? So far the control is in CPU. Okay, so but to load the respective pages from the secondary location secondary memory, so the control has been shifted to the operating system. So operating system take control. Now what will happen? It will search the respective page in the secondary memory location. Okay, so page is on in the backing store. So this is the secondary location. So your operating system will search the particular pages in the hard disk. Okay, now what will happen? Next it will bring the particular pages into the main memory. So this is the step 4. Okay, now whenever this page number m has been loaded into the main memory in the free frame, what will happen? We need to update that page table. So reset page table, that means the invalid bit has been reset to the valid bit. Okay, after this what will happen? That means from here again the control has been shifted from operating system to the CPU also. That means as the respective pages or is already loaded into the main memory, that means that control has been shifted back to the CPU. Okay, so whenever page fault occurred, that means that means uh, the control has been shifted to the operating system from CPU, and after loading that particular page into the respective main memory, the again control has been shifted from uh, sorry, operating system to CPU again. Okay, so after the loading, still last step is the restart the instruction or execute the particular process. Fine. Now coming to the next topic, that is the page replacement. So what is page replacement? So basically it is a mechanism where operating system decide which memory pages is to be swapped out or write to disk when a page memory need to be allocated. Okay, so consider a real life scenario. Suppose here you can see that, consider the earlier scenario. We operating system try to find out the respective respective page into the secondary memory location, and if there is a free frame, then then it will allocate that particular frame or page. The particular page will be loaded into that frame. Okay, but what will happen if there is no available free memory space or no free frame? Okay, so in that scenario, this particular technique has been used or need to be used. Okay, so for in that scenario, what we can do, we need to swap out or we need to select a particular pages, and we need to swap out from the main memory, and after swapping out, there will be some kind of free memory space, and we can load that page into that free memory space. Okay, so paging replacement is used whenever a page fault occurs and a free page cannot be used for allocation purpose, accounting to reason that page are not available or the number of free pages is lower than the required pages. Clear? So if the page is not if that free memory is not available or the number of free pages is lower than the required pages, in that scenario, um, mm, uh, we need to use the page replacement. So it is the basically the stepwise procedure of page replacement. So first step is the find the location of the desired page on the disk where the respective page is located. Okay, now second step is the find a free frame. Okay, so if there is a free frame, then use it, no problem. But if there is no free frame, we need to use page replacement algorithm. Okay, so what is the purpose of purpose of using the page replacement algorithm? Basically, it will select the particular uh, pages which is need to be swapped out from the main memory, and it is known as the victim. Okay, so basically page replacement algorithm is to use the select the victim frame from where particular page is need to be swapped out. Okay, so if there is no free frame, then only page replacement algorithm comes into the scenario. Okay, now after that, creating the free frame by using page replacement algorithm, write the victim page to the disk and change the page and frame tables accordingly, and again read the desired page into the new free frame, and change the page table and frame table also, and next restart the user process or start to execute it. So you can see that this is the first process. So suppose you need to so you can see that this is the eighth frame and this is the page table. So and you can see that initially the bit is already set to v or 1. That means in f frame there is already a page has been loaded. Okay, so suppose we need this one is a victim. Okay, so we need to swap out it into the swap out it from the main memory and stored it into the secondary storage. Okay, so first step is the swapped out the victim page. Okay, so next whenever we swapped out this eighth frame or particular page from the eighth frame, so obviously we need to change the valid invalid bit. That means we need to change v into the I or invalid. Okay, next again third step is the swapped the desired page into the respective eighth frame. So next we just load the respective page into the victim into the eighth frame, and after that again we need to reset the page table for the new pages. Okay, so that is the particular procedure for the page replacement. Now coming to the page replacement algorithm. So the page replacement algorithm basically decide which memory pages pages are to be swapped out when a page memory need to be allocated. That is, we need to identify the victim frame or victim pages. Okay, so basically we evaluate an algorithm by running it on a particular string of memory references and computing the number of page fault. Basically, during the execution of algorithm, we should consider the reference number like frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all these denote the basically reference number or string. Okay, reference string. So the string of memory references is called the reference string. Okay, so page replacement algorithm looks at the limited information about the accessing the page provided by hardware and tries to select which pages should be replaced. And the condition is to be that total number of pages should be minimum. Page miss should be minimum. Okay, that means we are trying to reduce the page fault. So here we should discuss three important algorithms related with the page replacement algorithm. First one is the fast in fast out algorithm or FIFO algorithm for the replacement purpose. So let's consider. So what is FIFO? As the name suggests, you can see that here oldest page in the main memory is the one which will be selected for the replacement. Now let's consider this one is the reference string like 021640103121 like this way. So what is this? Basically, it indicate the way or the memory string. Okay, or you can say that this one basically the suppose page 0, page 1, page 2, and like this way this we need to load into the main memory. Okay, so 021640103121. Okay, consider that we have a main memory which have only 4 frame. Okay, so frame number frame 0, frame 1, frame 2, for frame 3. Okay, so yeah, frame 0, frame 1, frame 2, frame 3. So whenever we want to load this but load the pages into the main memory, so initially we assume that the memory is free. Okay, so as there is free location, so respective pages 0 has been introduced, 2 has been loaded into the next frame, 1 has been loaded into the third frame, and 6 has been loaded into the next frame. Okay, so after this, that means 0216, there is um, it has been very clearly uploaded, no problem. Okay, so here in the second sentence we are using a value like misses. Okay, that means uh, initially either it is loaded or not. So you can see that initially 0 is loaded, not loaded into the main memory, so that means there is some kind of miss. Okay, so after that using the page replacement algorithm, sorry, we from the secondary memory location we need to load the respective pages into the main memory. So miss one, so that means this one also miss, this one also miss, and this one also miss. Now but here is up to 6 pages, after after this there is no problem, but suppose next pages is need to be loaded is 4. So whenever we need to load fourth page, okay, into the main memory, that means we need to swap out a process from the main memory because there is no available free memory into the RAM. Okay, so for this purpose we need to use like fast in fast out algorithm if you are using a FIFO algorithm. So as per the FIFO algorithm, the we need to select the page which is the oldest one. You can see that from here which one is the oldest. So obviously at first 0 is loaded, so obviously 0 will be replaced. Okay, so you can see that uh, at this at this location 0 has been swapped out and 4 has been introduced, so 4 has been introduced, so ultimately we get the respective memory main memory like this 4216. Okay, now coming to the next pages. So next page is 0, so you need to you can see that here uh, 0 is not loaded in the main memory, that means there is miss, so we are using indicate it by a cross. Okay, so we need to load the 0. So here you can see that we have 4216. Which one is the oldest? Next is the 2. So obviously 2 will be replaced by 0. So we need to update 4016 like this way. Okay. Now coming to the next memory, next page number or next reference memory location, that is 1. So here you can see that 1 is already in the main memory, so there is no need to replace. So that means it will call as the hit. Okay, so it will that means uh, uh, the particular page is already loaded, so we don't need to change anything. Okay, now next after 1, next you can see that 0. So again 0 is already in the present in the main memory now, so there is no problem, that means there is another hit. Now next bit is the 3. You can see that 4016, 3 is not present. Okay, so for 3 is need to be loaded. So now which one is the oldest one? Now 1 is the oldest one, so 1 will be replaced by 3. Okay, like this way it will be continued. So next 1 will be replaced, now 1 will need to be loaded. So obviously 6 is the oldest one, so 6 will be replaced by 1. And next 2 will be replaced by 2 is the replaced 2 will be replaced by sorry yeah, 2 will be replaced by 4, 4 pages. So and ultimately we get 2031. So like this way all pages will be loaded gradually one by one, but you can see that uh, we get 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So 9 number of misses. Okay, that means 9 number of fault. Okay, so the fault rate is total number of total number of fault divided by total number of reference string. So 9 by 12, that is 0.75. So that is the FIFO algorithm. But here the main disadvantage is the fault rate is very high. Okay, and it should be remembered that if you want to implement it easily, we should keep in mind that keep a list, replace the pages from the tail, and add a new page at the head, like this. Next one is the optimal page replacement algorithm. Okay, an optimal page replacement algorithm has the lowest page fault rate. Okay, and an optimal page replacement algorithm exists and has been called also as OPT or MIN. Hmm? Okay, and what is the concept or the operating principle of the optimal page replacement algorithm? So as per the optimal page replacement algorithm, that we should replace the page that will not be used for the longest period of time. So suppose this one is the reference string. Okay, now uh, as per the earlier process, we are considering the uh, main memory has the four number of frame. So initially 0 will be loaded, as it is not loaded. Next 2 1 be loaded, next 1 is loaded, next 6 is loaded. Okay, now next 4 is to be loaded, but 4 is not into the main memory. That means some page need to be uh, replaced. So as per the next, so as per the optimal page replacement algorithm, we should check that which bit we have now, which page like 0 to 16, which page are not used for longest period. You can see that after 4, like 0 is used, 1 is used, 2 is already used. Okay, but 6 is on, or 6 has not been used. Okay, so we need to replace 6 by 4. So that's why the respective main memory content has been updated like this, 0214. So as per the rule that we should replace the page that will not be used for the longest period of time. So after 4, 6 has been not used so far for a longest time, so that's why we need to use the 6. Okay, so now content of the main memory like is 0 page 214. Next bit is 0. Okay, so 0 is already present, so that means that is hit. Next 1 is already present, hit. 0 present, hit. Next 3, so we can see that there is no 3 pages. Okay, page number 3. Okay, so you can see that we need to replace some pages. So how we can see that after 3, which page is not used. So you can see that we have already 0, 2, 1, 4. Clear? So you can see that 0 has been not used after 3. Okay, and 4, as 4 is already just come into the in earlier replacement, so 4 will be not be replaced, but 0 will be replaced by 3. So ultimately we get 3, 2, 1, 4. Okay, so as 3 need to be 3 is replaced, that means there is some kind of fault. Next one is already present, 2 is already present, 1 is already present, that means for 1 to 1 there is hit. Okay, so you can see that total number of fault or miss here 1 2 3 4 5 6, total 6. So fault rate is 6 by 12, that is 0.50. Okay. However, in observe that in earlier case, in case of FIFO, the fault rate is 0.75. That means optimal page replacement algorithm has better performance over the FIFO algorithm. Next, coming to the least recently used algorithm or LRU algorithm. Okay. So what is least recently used algorithm? So as per the least recently used algorithm, the pages which has not been used for the longest amount of time in the memory is the one which will be selected for the displacement. Okay, again I'm read it out, like pages which has not been used for the longest time in main memory. In earlier cases, of optimal page replacement algorithm, for a particular pages we need to look up into the future, that means upcoming page number. But in case of uh, least recently used algorithm or LRU algorithm, we need to look at the reference string in the past, okay, or back in time. So let's see, this is for the same reference string like 0216401031121. So initially 0216 will be gradually loaded into the main memory, and respective fault has been noted down by using cross. Okay, so 0. Now coming to the 4. So for 4 so it need to be loaded, so which should be replaced? Okay, so you can see that least recently value is 0. Okay, for longest amount of time it is not has been it is not used. So 4 is read for 4, sorry, 0 is replaced by 4. So next 4216. Okay, so there is fault and we are indicated by a cross. Next 0. So in this here you can see that there is no 0. Okay, so as there is no 0, so which value need to be so which phase has been used for longest time, has not been used in the longest time? So obviously 2. You can see that 2 has been longest is not in used for the longest amount of time. Okay, so okay, so 2 will be replaced by 0. So now content of the main memory is 4016. Okay, next yeah, next 1. So 1 is already main memory, so there is some kind of hit. Next 0 is already present in the main memory, so there is also hit. Next coming to the 3. Now coming to the 3, so which value is already, which is not in used? So you can see that here 0 is already used in earlier previous, sorry, 0 and 1 is already used, or 0 page and 1 page is was already used in the earlier reference strings, whereas 6 has not been used for longest amount of time. Okay, so here obviously 3 will be 6 will be replaced by 3. So now content is 4013. Okay, next. So next 1 is already present in the main memory, so there is hit. Next 2 will be need to be replaced by uh, which page? Let's say you can see that 0 has been used here, 3 has been used here, 1 has been used here. Okay, so to indicate, so which one has been not in used longest time amount of time? So obviously this is 4. So 4 will be replaced by 2. So now coming to the content 2013. Okay, now last page is 1 is already present here, so there is it. So you can see that the total amount of fault is total 8. So fault rate is 8 by 12, that is 0.67. Okay, so you can see that the total sorry, so most efficient replacement algorithm is the optimal page replacement algorithm where fault rate is 0.50. Okay, for this particular example. And in case of next efficient is the LRU, and next most inefficient technique is FIFO. Okay. So that's all from the page replacement algorithm technique, where we can select a particular victim page and we can replace that page with the pages with interest. Now coming to the last topic, that is the thrashing. Okay. Now whenever we are doing this page replacement, at that so in that scenario, we need to load the particular pages from the secondary location into the main memory location. Okay. So obviously, if we're doing it frequently, what will happen? That means after some time, more time will be taking to load it into the main memory for swapped out or swapped in. Okay. So the utilization by CPU, or that means the main aim of the CPU is to for the computation. So computational time will be reduced. Okay. So if that scenario generated or created, so that is known as the thrashing. Okay. So a process is thrashing. A process will be called as thrashing if it spend more time in paging than the executing. Okay. So what will happen? It will lead that low utilization of CPU, and the operating system think that more number of process is needed to be loaded into the main memory. That means the degree of multiprogramming will be reduced. Okay. So this is the graphical plot of degree of multiprogramming with the CPU utilization. You can see that as we are increasing degree of multiprogramming gradually, CPU utilization is gradually increasing. But after some time, when there is lots of process, that means we need to do more paging frequently. So, but as it taking finite amount of time to load the particular pages from main memory in, to secondary memory, or secondary memory to the main memory. So in that cases, it will spend more time into the paging. Okay. So it will execution time will be reduced. So it will the CPU will think that less number of processes are present in the main memory. Okay. So obviously the degree of multiprogramming will be reduced. So thrashing is not desirable condition. So obviously this is the optimal condition where we can utilize CPU maximally. So that is known as the thrashing. So coming to the conclusion page, so we have studied the technique of non-contiguous memory allocation technique like segmentation, virtual memory, demand paging, and we are also studied the page fault and the page replacement algorithm like FIFO, optimal page replacement algorithm, and LRU algorithm. And after that, we have studied the thrashing technique. Okay. So I hope you have no problem to understand the memory management technique. So that's all from this module. If you have any question, please post them. Thank you.